Hey guys, welcome to another video from eWaste Profits. So in today's video, what I wanted to do is talk about selling laptops to resellers. I get a lot of people these days selling their laptops, and I thought it'd be a good idea to explain how the process works so you can maximize your profits and make the transaction a little bit smoother. So you might be asking yourself, why would somebody want to sell their laptop to a reseller when they could just sell it to an end user for more money? And there's a good reason for that, and there's probably a bunch of reasons, but there's three primary reasons that I can think of. One is quick cash. Sometimes people it's at the end of the month and they need to make their rent, whatever the case may be. They need quick cash. They can't wait 2-3 weeks to sell their laptop. So they want to get cash sometimes same day if they can. The other reason is it's easy. You just call up a computer shop, pawn shop, whatever it may be, and tell them what you got, and you don't have to list your laptop on the Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or OfferUp or any of those things, or eBay. You don't have to take photos, you don't have to take detailed specifications. A lot of times people don't even know what they're selling, so they're not even comfortable selling it to somebody because they don't even know what it's really worth, or they don't really know how to reset it properly. So in a word, it's just easier. The third reason is no drama. When you sell to an end user, there's all sorts of things that could come into play. Somebody might not be happy with the laptop and now they want their money back. Somebody might have questions, like technical support things. Maybe they found out that something doesn't work, like there's an issue with the trackpad or something. And so for those reasons, a lot of people just don't feel comfortable selling it to an end user. They just don't want to deal with the drama of having to deal with any kind of potential issues like that. They just want to sell it and just be done with it. So here are some things that you should do to prepare, and things that you do during the sale when you meet up with a reseller. And I'm not going to show you how to find resellers. I mean, it could be different from whatever place you're in or country or whatnot. It could be people that you saw on Craigslist, it could be computer shops, it could be pawn shops. I mean, it could be a number of places where there's resellers. But the first thing you should always do is do some basic market research. And I usually like to go to eBay, and you go down to the sold listings. There's a little filter section where you can see sold listings, and try to find the most accurate version of whatever you have. And when I say accurate, there could be different variations of the model of the laptop you have. Try to get it as close as you can as far as the CPU, the RAM, the storage, and just try to get a sense of what they're selling for. What you don't want to do is you don't want to show up at the reseller and say, I paid $1,200 for this laptop. That really doesn't mean anything, and it can also show that you really don't know what you're talking about. Sure, you might have bought it for $1,200, so that part is true, but the current market value is what somebody's willing to pay for that. And by going to marketplaces like eBay and looking at sold listings, you can get a better general sense of what that current laptop is worth. So for example, if your laptop was $1,200 and maybe it's 3 years later, that laptop may only be worth like $400 or $500. But you're not going to know that until you look at recent sales, and you can get a sense. Now, by looking at this, you'll get a better idea of what you should be getting from the reseller. So instead of saying I paid $1,200 for my laptop, and they say, hey, like, how much do you want for it? You could give them a realistic price that you think is fair, and you're not just throwing out some arbitrary number and something that the reseller is just going to completely ignore. The next thing is be organized. When you tell the reseller you have something for sale, they might ask you for some basic details. Basically what they want to do is find out if it's something that they can sell and make money on. And when I say be organized, take like a good picture, maybe of the front or the back, or something where you can easily get a sense of what model number it is, and send some of the basic things like the CPU, the RAM, the storage, and anything else that you think is important. What you don't want to do is just send some picture of a laptop from far away, where the reseller can't even understand what it is that they're looking at. You want to give them enough information so they can look it up and see what it is that they're going to be buying. The next thing, and I think this is important, is clean the laptop. It doesn't need to be perfect, but I have seen laptops where there's stickers all over the laptop. The keyboard has like food particles and like dried up liquids. It just turns me off when I get a laptop and I just look, just one glance, and I can tell that it's going to take me a good hour to clean it up. That's going to turn off the reseller, and they're automatically going to give you probably the lowest price that they can possibly give you. And like I've said, it doesn't need to be perfect, but just give it a good once over with some Windex or some simple rubbing alcohol. Don't use rubbing alcohol on the screen. Use very light. Just give it like a nice once over so that it doesn't look like you just ate your last dinner on the laptop. Just try to make it look presentable. That's the most important thing. Next thing is, don't forget the accessories. I can't tell you how many people have showed up with the laptop, and I ask them, "Where's the adapter?" And they say, "Oh, I forgot it. You probably have a bunch of them." And the thing that means to me is, now I can't just reset it and resell it. Now I got to go find the adapter. And yes, I may have an adapter if it's a common brand. But if it's not, I got to go on eBay just like everybody else, and I might have to spend $20 or $30 to get the power adapter. And so when somebody brings that and they say they don't have the adapter or they lost the adapter, I usually tell them, fine, that's $20 off whatever I was going to offer you. And if it's a Mac, it might even be $50 or $60 off, because some of those adapters are even more expensive. And so don't forget it. A lot of times, you might have like misplaced it, but it's important to kind of keep everything together, and so that the reseller has everything that they need and it's all ready to go. And it also saves you a trip. You don't have to go all the way back home just to go get the adapter. So the next thing is, be honest. If you have any known issues with the laptop, just try to be 100% honest with the reseller. And when I mean honest, if there's a keyboard issue, if there's a Wi-Fi issue, I've had all sorts of issues like that in the past, and I would find out right away, and the person would be lying to me, and I would immediately either just tell them no, or I would give them a much lower price than had they been honest to me, because it's inconvenient. Now I'm sitting in front of them, they want money, and now I know that this laptop is something that I either can't sell, or now I got to go buy parts to fix it, and it's going to take a week or 2 weeks before I can resell that laptop. So, and it really turns me off. If that person ever comes back again, I'm probably not even going to answer their phone call. Or I'm going to be very cautious about what they are selling. So the next thing is, when you do meet at a safe place. If it's a PC shop, you're probably going to be meeting at a retail store, so obviously that's in a safe spot. But meet at like a Starbucks or a McDonald's or some place where it's there's a lot of people coming in and out, and try to find a place where there's Wi-Fi and power. So this way, if you have a laptop where maybe the battery is dead or almost dead, and you can plug it in. And if the reseller wants to test out like the Wi-Fi, at least they can go online and check everything. Here are some tips, some extra tips. When you're selling your laptop, less is more. And what I mean by that is, don't tell the reseller that you're moving. Don't tell them that you're in a rush. This indicates to the seller that you'll sell it at the absolute lowest price possible. When somebody tells me they're moving out of state, that tells me that they only have a few days and they got to get cash. They have no other option, and that means they'll take any price that they get. So word of advice is just keep it absolutely simple. Show up, tell them what you have for sale. If anything, just don't say anything. Just tell them what price you think is fair, and just wait for them to ask you questions. You don't need to tell them your life story. You don't need to tell them really anything. I've had people, while I'm looking at the laptop, tell me that they just lost their job, or they really need the money. I don't need to hear that. That's really just going to make things worse as far as how much money that they think they're going to get for the laptop. And I try to not keep it emotional. I try to keep it very professional. I feel for these people if they lost their job, but really, I'm doing this as a business. I'm not, I'm trying to keep all emotions aside and keep it extremely professional when I buy and sell laptops. The next thing is, if you can, ahead of time, reset your laptop. On a PC, this is very easy to do, and on a Mac, it might be easy depending on the model. Some models are a little bit more difficult. I'll see if I can leave a link in the description to show how to reset Macs and PCs and different kinds of laptops. If you can do that ahead of time, that'll save a lot of time. I've had people in my shop that sat and waited for 3 hours, or they had to drop it off and come back 3 hours later because I needed to reset the laptop to make a clear assessment of the laptop, and I couldn't do that until I reset it. And some of the Macs, for example, it might take 3 hours to do the whole reset process because it has to download the entire operating system. It's a huge headache, and it could have easily have been avoided ahead of time by just simply resetting it and following some simple instructions. For Apple products, remove the iCloud lock. This is very important because if you don't remove this lock, the reseller cannot reset it and reuse it. And this is really only on the newer MacBooks and pretty much on all of the iPhones and iPads. I forgot what model year, but on a particular model year on the MacBooks, they started using the T2 chip, and on all the Apple silicone, it's all has the Apple iCloud lock functionality. And if you don't remove that, it's a process, and you might be sitting at the shop trying to figure out how to remove your account, and it's going to waste your time and the reseller's time. So just try to do that ahead of time. I've had some people where I bought like a $500 or $600 MacBook, and they forgot to unlock it, and I forgot to check. And now I had to track them down and get them to unlock it, and it was a huge headache. And it could have all been avoided if they had just removed that particular device from their iCloud account. The last thing is be ready with the details. I think I said this earlier. Try to look up ahead of time the important details: the model number, the brand, the CPU, the RAM, the storage, any kind of details that you think are a big selling point for that laptop. Have those ready. The reseller is going to find out anyway, but you know, if you wanted to get like a price over the phone from the reseller, they're not going to give that to you if they don't know what they're dealing with. You know, like, so I get a lot of people that they want to know either over the phone or over text, like, how much do you think it's worth? And I really can't make a fair assessment until I know all of the details. So it's just plain and simple. Just try to have all those details. And a lot of people will just say, I don't know. And sure, I understand that, but you could easily just, you know, go into the Windows laptop, into the task manager. You just click on the performance tab and you can see all of the details of the laptop, the CPU, the RAM, storage, everything. So it's really not that hard to do. And on the Mac, you just click on the Apple and go to About This Mac, you know, and you have all the details right there. The last thing is, don't waste the reseller's time of bringing in like a 10-year-old laptop. A lot of times I'll ask people over the phone so I can save my time and their time. If it's something that I can't sell, I'm really not going to be interested. And sometimes I don't even get the chance of a phone call. Sometimes people show up at my shop and you know, and I basically tell them, you know, hey, I can't sell this. It's a 10-year-old laptop. You know, this thing's e-waste, really. And sure, it might be usable, you know, to give it away to somebody or a family member. But they could have saved the trip by just calling me, you know, and asking me. But again, this goes back to the market value. You know, if you look up your laptop on eBay, which you can do, pretty much everything has been sold on eBay. So you should be able to look up either your laptop or something similar to your laptop. And if you see that it's selling on eBay for 40 bucks, you know, or 50 bucks, don't even waste your time. You know, a reseller is not going to be interested in acquiring a laptop for something from you that they can only sell for 40 or 50 bucks. You know, I mean, if they're selling it on eBay for 50 bucks, that means after the fees and everything, they're only making like, you know, 15, 20 bucks. So I'm not going to spend any of my time like that just to make 10 bucks. It's just not worth it, you know. So save your time and save the reseller's time, you know, and just if it's below $100, you know, I mean, it might depend on where you are in the world. If you think it's not worth it, just don't bother. But you could always tell the reseller what it is you're selling, but don't waste their time if it's a very low value. So that's it for this video, guys. If you found the information useful and you liked the video, definitely give me a thumbs up. I appreciate that. It helps with the YouTube algorithms. And subscribe if you want to see some more videos. I should be doing some more videos on purchasing laptops and also selling laptops to end users. So see you in the next one.